Well, hello everyone, hello. I just recently watched a video by mcpm where he was using the enormous Doepfer A155 sequencer to do this sort of quasi-generative patch where you have a sequence, but because of the way that sequencer is made, you can replace certain steps with external CV that he was bringing from the NLC Hypster, which I do have over here. Befeco Muxlicer, since it is a sequencer as well as a sequential switch, you can plug in to these step jacks down here, and then instead of the internally supplied voltage, it replaces that with whatever external signal you have plugged in, and then the fader becomes an attenuator for that. There is also a gate output, which was part of the technique, using the individual step gate outs to trigger events that sort of latch in with the sequence and anchor you musically. So it is less random. I have step 1 triggering Bastel T-kick. I am logically combining steps 3 and 5, I think, and using that to trigger 2 HP snare, which is doing that kind of, that little drip. Then, mcpm was using a skipmin to randomly skip gates in the sequence. I do not have one of those, but I've got a mutable branches, which gives you probability control of sending an incoming clock to one side or the other. The top branch, both sides are triggering the open and closed sounds of 2 HP hat, and the bottom branch is triggering descent decay envelope, which is going into the level input of Plaits. I'm using that because I don't like Plaits' built-in envelope. I think it's weak. And descent is also CV controllable, so I have a CV from the sequence 8, which is running on a much slower clock than the Muxlicer. Is that CV's controlling the decay time of the descent envelope, and a CV from the Hypster is controlling a parameter over here on Plaits. I forgot to mention that another of these gate outputs is triggering threshold, which is playing that chord that hits right there. But as soon as I plug this clock into branches, it will start. I've got OES and the other branches gating this VCA, through which interstellar radio output is going. And the interstellar radio carrier and demodulator are both receiving CVs from the Hypster. I'm replacing 2 steps of this sequence with Hypster CVs. It was subtle and you may not have noticed it, but there was also percussion from mental. The top half of, the top third of Mescaline, our master clock, is coming from the Mescaline and feeding into sequence 8, because the sequence 8's clock input threshold is low enough that the weird flutter on Mescaline's clock does not bother the sequence 8, and then I can take clock out from there to my other modular devices. And I have the M11 controlling the vectral level of Mescaline, so I can turn this up. Pretty smooth. Anyway, I thought that was a really cool idea, and I figured I would try and accomplish it with the modules that I have. Let me know how I did. I will briefly mention my Bandcamp, my Patreon, my Ko-fi page, all of which are unmissable golden opportunities to throw some money my way. And of course it costs nothing to like and subscribe. I strongly encourage you to do that. And I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.